Have you ever thought what it would look like if you switched up what you were doing, did something different than what you've done for years or maybe even decades of your life? Um, I've done that, and it's harrowing, but it's also very rewarding. I just wonder if you've ever thought about that. My name's Tammy Romani, by the way. I am a professional voiceover talent. Sometimes we call ourselves voice actors, voice actress, maybe actor. And I am here just to kind of talk you through some of the ways that I have switched up what I'm doing and let you know that it's okay. Because, hey, I'm getting to be a certain age, and I have been a professional voice actor for over 40 years. Like, my first demo tape was recorded in 1979, and it was a reel-to-reel demo tape. Like, you've seen them in old movies where it's a reel of tape and then a blank reel, and they put it on this machine. And we used to actually mail those out to radio stations to try and get a job back in the day. A lot of things have changed, and so why are we not changing with it? Why are we not changing with it, okay? I want you to just think about it. Like I said, I've been doing voiceover work for over 40 years. Everything has evolved, and I'll tell you more of those stories later. But what I want to talk about right now is, what does it take for you to flip your life, to redirect your path, maybe pivot a little bit, and maybe not a big pivot, but a course correction. Sometimes there's something that happens that makes you get to the point where you're like, no, I'm supposed to do something else. And I got to that point. I still do voiceover work. I do what's called corporate narration. I narrate videos and things like that, internal training videos. I do some of that. Maybe I answer the phone at your credit union. I do that too. So I still do that. But I reached a point in my life and my career where I realized I had enough information under my belt where I could help people. And let me tell you what happened. Back in the day when video started emerging on social media, I think it was first on Facebook, and then there was an app dedicated to that called Periscope, which I don't think even exists anymore. But those were two live streaming apps. And a lot of my friends, I had several friends, and they knew that I had been a voiceover talent for many years. I had this one friend. She had written a book, and she messaged me and said, I have to go live. And she goes, and I hate my voice. My book agent says I've got to do live videos to tell people about my book, and I hate the sound of my voice. So what do I do about that? How can I fix that? Well, there's a lot of things you can fix if your voice needs it. But let me tell you, the number one thing that I hear is that you hate the sound of your own voice. And you think other people will too. And that's not necessarily true. Sometimes there's something you can fix, but in order to become a confident speaker, you got to just do it. You got to just break through that, and you got to do it. So when she said that to me, I had never coached anyone. I had spent my entire career talking by myself in a padded room, either going to a studio or doing it in my home and sending the file off to places. I'm reading a script that someone else has written, and all of a sudden I have this epiphany, like, I can help her. But let me tell you what, the redirect and the pivot in my brain from being the person, the solo person who just talks into a microphone in a padded room by myself, reading something or acting through something that someone else has written, to now I am going to talk this person through what it takes to like the sound of their own voice and to speak with confidence as they're doing a live video. That was a switch I had to do in my own brain. But that moment of her asking me that question was not only a catalyst for her that flipped her whole business around, it was for me too. because it absolutely gave me a new mission. So I want you to think about, is there something that's happened in your life like that has given you a new mission? I have been challenged to go live every day on this app in the month of August. And it's a stretch for me still because, I'm still used to just either being by myself in a padded room, talking into a microphone, reading something that someone else has written, or I do one-on-one coaching, or I'm in a group community where it feels very safe. Let me just tell you that social media doesn't always feel that safe right now. But I'm putting myself out here, and I want to get to know you over the next month. And let's see what we can do. Let's see how I can help you, and let's see if you can share some stories with me. Maybe you can go live with me. I would love that. And I think that we can all get through those turning points together. So if you've watched this long, or if you're just now joining, I'm Tammy Romani. I'm a voiceover professional, and I'm here to help you learn to speak with confidence, okay? Have a confident voice for your videos, for anything that you're doing. Maybe you're a podcaster. Let's see if we can get you to a point where people really tune in to what you have to say, so that you are the voice that's heard on the noisy internet, okay? So follow along. Give me a follow. I love to see a few people here already, and that makes me so happy. But if you're watching the replay, let's talk some more about this. What happens when you have that moment? Okay, and if you want to comment below, either in this live video or if you're watching the replay, give me a time when you feel like you had this aha moment that there was something more you needed to be doing, or something different you needed to be doing. You needed to pivot. You need to course correct a little bit, maybe even a little bit at a time, so that you can kind of flow into this new thing that you're really feeling. I talk to a lot of women who are maybe in a stage of their life where they are kind of entering their third act, right? Where they've worked all their whole lives. Maybe they're empty nesters. Maybe they are moving into a space where they're looking towards retirement, but they don't want to quit. Do you know what I mean? They don't want to quit on life. They don't want to quit on their influence. They don't want to quit on their impact. So think about that. Sometimes there's something that makes you want to redirect your energy, right? So I just want to ask you, let me know in the comments if you think that there is a time that you have seen this happen for yourself. Tamara says, I knew I needed to speak the word and not just write. There's an untapped power in the spoken word. Oh my gosh, you are so right. And there are studies that back that up. Actual business schools have done scientific studies on this. And you know how they say, I was always taught this in college and, in business classes or whatever, or journalism classes, you have 7 seconds to make an impression when you walk into a room, right? So you got to walk in with confidence. You've got to look the part. You've got to blah, 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 blah. You got to look a certain way. And let me tell you what the research says about your voice. You have 1 second to make an impression with your voice. And if that scares the crap out of you, I'm here to help you. Because when I first read that statistic, I went, oh, heck no. No. 1 second? And then I thought back on all the people that I have unfollowed or stopped listening to their podcast, or, just gotten to a point where I cannot take the sound of their voice. And we can talk later about what those qualities are. They're all fixable, every single one of them. And if you don't know what that is, we'll do a session where I teach you how to figure out what it is about your voice that is not good, that makes people maybe turn away. But the main thing is, and let me tell you this, going back to my friend who came to me with saying she hated the sound of her own voice. We all do. I hated the sound of my own voice. I didn't even recognize my own voice when I first heard it on a recording. And that's probably the case with you too. And that's okay. Because 95% of the people that I work with, your voice is just fine. It's great. It's you. It's part of who you are. And you just need to elevate it a little bit, amplify it a little bit, and speak with confidence. So I'd love for you to follow along here. What Tamara said was so true, that there is an untapped power in the spoken word. And learning how to use your voice. Maybe you're never going to be a voice actor like me. Maybe you're never going to be a podcaster even. But if you have a mission and you want to make videos on this platform or any platform, if you have a story that you need to tell, if you have written a book, if you've written anything and you want to promote it, get it out there, you've got to speak the words too. You really do. And so I had that moment that not only changed her life, but it changed mine as well, because it gave me a new mission. I wasn't just Tammy the voiceover artist, or Tammy the voice actor, Tammy the gal who talks by herself in a padded room. I became a coach and a mentor to people. I became a person who sees your potential and wants to help you get there. I want to help you get there. That is my calling. That is my purpose. That is what I'm here for. So I think that we can move through this month getting to know each other. If you would like to go live with me and we can talk through anything you want to talk about, what your brand is, what you like to talk about, what your favorite thing to do is, let's talk about that. And sometimes it's that we don't want to go on camera. And you know what? It's okay to start with just putting your voice behind an image or a video. And I've seen some of you do that. And I really love that, because I love hearing your voice. Your voice can convey more emotion, more of your message than anything your face can do. Any facial expression cannot do it like your voice can. And let's optimize that. Let's optimize that, okay? So follow along here. Comment below what you think is wrong with your voice, and we'll address that directly. But I really have a vision for this month being a time where we get to know each other better, where we can record, maybe do this together and record some podcasts, some audio that ends up being a podcast. We can get to a place where we really see some changes. And I'm so happy you're here. If you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments below what you want to learn in this month from a voiceover professional about how to either fix your voice, how to speak with more confidence, how to get your messaging right, anything like that. How to tell your story, because that is what is going to bring in your tribe. If you're a coach, if you're a creator, you're not here just for fun. You're here to make money, right? And learning how to be the voice that's heard on the noisy, noisy internet is what's going to get you there. All right. I am so grateful that you were here with me this evening. This is a stretch for me to try and go live every day, but I am going to do my very best to do that. And please comment below with any topics that you'd like me to address. And I will see you tomorrow. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. You know what would be really great is if I knew how to turn this off. I haven't gone live in so long. Let me figure this out. Oh, Lordy. Oh, there we go. All right. I will see you next time. I'll figure out the buttons by then.